Sometimes you just have to give up on people, not because they don't care, but because they don't. Let me explain. Self-respect, preserving your dignity and self-worth is very important. So mostly in cases where people don't tend to be in a space where they respect themselves enough, it tends to rub off your shoulders. This is one thing that I learned. The people around you are just like a reflection of you. So the people who you are mostly found with, they are your reflection. So if they don't respect themselves enough, then there's some habits that are going to rub off you within a while. It just takes some time. Conserve your emotion and mental health. It's very important to look after you and your well-being, because the other part of you is your brain, and the brain is one part that is very cardinal. So mostly whatever that you're going to store in your brain, these are things that you slowly start to become. So if the people around you are always causing you to have mental health issues, then why should you keep on hanging around them? So it's not that you are giving up on them, but it's because probably they gave up on themselves already. So in as much as you might have addressed certain issues with them, but if they don't see what you see, then what's the whole essence? Focus on relationships that encourage personal growth. I cannot stress that enough. You need to be in a space where people are always rooting out for you in whatever that you're doing. It's a few individuals out here who are in a space where they could, clap for you, meaning like where they truly mean it. Certain people are just there with you just to see you fall. But when you hang around true individuals that are like-minded and they're able to see that your personal growth is also a win for them, because by the end of the day, whatever that you become is like, God is in the vicinity, God is in the area, you too also get blessed. But in instances where certain people are always just like rooting for you not to go very far, they just want to see you hit a certain bar that they've set for your life, then you ought to shut down and just run away from that environment, because each and every individual has been blessed in a different way. So personal growth is very important. Avoid toxic and harmful interactions. This is something that is just becoming crazier day by day. There are friends who just can't get enough of always being the person that they are weighing you down, where they speak ill about certain things that you're probably doing. Probably they're not in a space where, they are not happy for whatever that you're trying to do with your life. There'll always be that negativity that is always coming around, when they know that you'll be better than you have ever been. It's like that each of them just being in a corner where they stop you from doing what God has put upon your heart, or that what God has planned for your life, the purpose that you have. It's like they'll quickly come and want to shut that down. So those harmful toxicity interactions are things that you need to watch out for and run. Seek balanced and mutual support in relationships. It's very important to be in a space where you have friends, where things are reciprocated, where you what you give is what you get back, because you can't be always pouring into somebody's glass all the time. Remember, one day you'll run out and you'll be in a space where you're depressed, stressed, and you start thinking like whatever that you're doing is not worth it. No, it's because you're in a space where certain people, certain individuals that you hang around with are not in a capacity to fill you up. So there are moments when your growth is just way too much for other people that they tend to back off. Because here's the thing, right? If I am growing, I also expect you to grow. So the things I'm going to expose you to, or the things that you're going to expose me to, these are things that by the end of the day, they'll help each and every individual, like both of us. So it's very important to be in a space where you're also seeing that your friend is pouring into you, you're also pouring into them back. So very important to have a balanced kind of thing. Prioritize your own happiness. I can't stress this enough. Your happiness matters, you matter. You need to be in a space where every time you're checking up on yourself. I think this is one thing we people don't do. You can't help the other person if you yourself are in a space where you are being choked, you're being held down, all these things are rambling upon you. So you need to be in a space where even yourself is in a space where you're comfortable, you're looking after yourself very well, like, gee, you really matter. Like, you really matter. You understand? Like, you really matter so much. Spoil yourself, take yourself on some treats and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that each and everything that you do, you check up on yourself. Like, are we good? With this decision that I'm making, are we good? Or whatever that I'm trying to do, are we good? Is this coming out from peer pressure? Or is this coming out just because if I say no, then they'll feel bad? But if they're a true friend of yours, then they'll tend to be in a place where they understand, So it's very important to also check out your happiness vitals. Invest your time in people that value it. I think this is one important thing that you also need to understand, because time is never gained. Time always flies, time always goes. So make sure that the time that you're investing in other people, is like worth it. It's of value, because there's just some other people that don't value that, because you tend to understand and see this when you are among a lot of people, a lot of friends, you'll see that there are those people who value your presence because they know the type of energy that you bring, right? And that those people who just think, he'll come around, he's my homeboy, she's my homegirl, we'll be rocking out like this all the time, so it's like, for them, that's just how things are. But there are certain people who never take you for granted. Those are the people you need to value a lot. People who never take you for granted. People who are never comfortable because they know you, but they respect you as an individual and they respect your time. When, let's say, when we say we are meeting up at this time, bro, show up at that time. When we say meeting up at that time, girl, show up at that time. No, because I know her, I know him, so I can show up at whatever time that I feel like, because they'll understand. So it all starts with the people around you, and how you carry yourself too. So if you're always showing up on time, and for them, it's like he'll understand. It becomes a little bit timid, and that shows that your value is not respected. If I give you an example of somebody who always sees you, right, and they're always wishing they could meet you and see you in person, right, and you tell them, let's meet up at this location around this time, trust me, that person will show up even way before the time that you guys set. You know why? Because they value that time. They don't know when they'll ever get that again, so they'll make sure they utilize that time. But tell a friend who who's been there with you for a long time. It's sad, really sad, so let's all treat each other the same, and let's all treat each other with respect. Respect people's time. Stress. Reduce unnecessary stress and frustration. Gee, I can't say how much that has really helped me in a space where learning to say no. I think this is one thing that I really struggled with for a long time. I never know how to say no. But now, to be honest, I'm at a space whereby if I'm not okay, if I'm at a space where I'm busy, I can't handle a lot of things at the same time, I'll say no, and if I'm not at the capacity where I can, help you, then I'll say no, because I matter, I don't want to stress myself and be frustrated that I'm doing what I'm doing because I said yes just to make you feel happy or make you feel whatever way that you want to feel, So avoid unnecessary stress and frustration. Very important for your mental health. Maintain healthy boundaries for yourself. This is very, very cardinal, maintain healthy boundaries, because these things will really help you, learn to put up walls for yourself, because sometimes, people just want to sneak in, man. People just want to come through and do whatever that they want. And, once they know that, these type of things, these are not things that this person rocks with, they'll to respect you because that's how you carry yourself, So make sure you build a great wall of China, around yourself because you really need to have boundaries, have boundaries. Don't let everybody just step on your toes, even the people that are close to you and the people that you know. It's not nice, Sometimes that just puts you off and tends to be in a space where like you feel people don't care, but it's like they don't just care about themselves. So why should they care about you? So always ask yourself all these questions. Very important. Surround yourself with positive influences. I can't stress this enough, man. Be in a space where your friends bring the best out of you. Have you ever been in a space where whenever you see somebody, you just feel like you just want to go home, Even if they're a friend, you just feel like, why are they here? It's like you just can't wait to go home, and leave them, So being in a space where people that surround you have the positive vibe on your mental health, on yourself is very, very cardinal. So just like I said, boundaries. So those are certain boundaries that you put in place, making sure that the people that you're working with don't deprive you of you being yourself and you being in a place where you're capable of just like handling certain type of situations. So being in a space where you understand and say, I want to do this, can we plan this and that? They're able to listen and understand, because sometimes what God spoke to you about was at a conference call. It was an individual call, so positive influences really matter a lot. It just doesn't, it's not just people, but even social media, the people that you're following there, I can't stress that enough. Social media a lot because this is where we spend most of our time. So make sure that even the accounts you're following just bring they're of positive influence, So yeah, I hope you've learned one or two things. Thank you so much for rocking with your boy. Peace out.